Salutations everyone, this is Razor bringing you guys some Injustice Gods Among Us. It's just a backdrop for what I'm going to be talking about, not showing off my totally inferior fighting skills because I'm just not good at them. And this is a DC Universe video game. If you're wondering why certain people are fighting each other that wouldn't normally be fighting each other, it's because it takes place in an alternate timeline where, you know, Superman becomes a bad guy. Nothing new, standard, you know, DC comic book fanfare. And if you're wondering, like, how Green Arrow can take a punch from Shazam and live, it's because that they also explain that in the story. It's a pretty good story, actually, and a good fighting game as well. I enjoy it. But what I want to talk about today is one of my biggest pet peeves. One of my biggest pet peeves, by far, being a nerd. When people talk out of their ass about something that they know absolutely nothing about, and expect not to get their bullshit called out on. I don't understand it. Like when they know one little kernel of knowledge about a subject and think that that gives them credence to make these big grandeur statements or you know, theorize this or that because they know one thing about it, and they just like spew out all this nonsense that's totally contrary to the canon or the source material, and not expect to get your shit called out. I honestly don't understand, and it pisses me off because people, they think that you know, that one little kernel of knowledge, this one thing that they know, you know, they think that they see a commercial about the product and they obviously know everything about the company now. You know, they get the small taste and think that they can, you know, form these opinions or whatever, and it's infuriatingly disturbing. And you see it all the time when it comes to, you know, a comic book franchise, movie franchise, a TV show, a novel series. People talking out of their ass about stuff they absolutely know nothing about. It's like me going into a Star Trek convention and saying like, "Oh, I really like that dude in the blue shirt, the elf with no emotions. I love that guy. He's awesome. He does the peace sign." Like, I would get my shit pushed in for trying to pull that kind of crap, you know, in an area where there's a large amount of people that are very, very knowledgeable about this subject, and you start talking out of your ass and pretend like your opinion is valid. It's crazy to me. Like, I remember when the Green Lantern movie, which I know a lot of people didn't really enjoy, when that was announced and they said that Ryan Reynolds was going to be playing Green Lantern, there was a huge uproar from a certain small amount of ignorant people who were like, Green Lantern? Why are they making him white? Green Lantern's black. Everybody knows that. Blah, 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 blah. And it's just like, are you fucking kidding me? Because Hal Jordan is white, always has been, but they don't know who Hal Jordan is because they grew up, you know, late 90s or early 2000s watching Super Friends or Justice League or whatever, and the Green Lantern in the Justice League was Jon Stewart, who is a black guy. So they know this one thing and think that they can, you know, extrapolate that out into knowing absolutely everything. And it's frustrating. I also remember seeing a video about a certain video game that's in beta right now. And they're saying like, oh, Hal Jordan isn't the first Green Lantern, it's Alan Scott. It's like, dude, okay, I get that you know who Alan Scott is, but you have no idea what the fuck you're talking about outside of that. And you see this all the time. People saying that Superman versus Batman movie, how is that going to work? Batman doesn't have any powers. He's not even a real superhero. Superman would destroy him. It's like, Batman has fought Superman many times and has beaten him many times in the comic, in the canon of, you know, the comic books, which is the source material for these movies and TV shows and shit. And to say that, you know, Superman is boring and not a very good hero just because you saw a movie, a crappy movie, it's like, just because you saw a movie that's not based off of comic book source material doesn't mean that you know this superhero. Doesn't mean that you know, like, oh, there's no way Batman could beat anybody because, you know, none of his, you know, villains have many superpowers, and he doesn't have any superpowers, so he would get destroyed. He would get squashed like a bug. These people have no idea what we're talking about. To say that Green Lantern is weak against the color yellow, it's like, okay, you know one small thing about this one thing that you saw one time, but that doesn't give you credence to say that you know something about it because it's not true. He's not weak against the fucking color yellow. To say that Aquaman is useless outside of the ocean, which, by the way, is very fucking funny, I'll give you that. Those jokes are hilarious. But it's not true. To say that Superman is boring or not a very, polarizing character is not founded on truth. It's just your bullshit opinion that is not based on fact, on anything. And I really hate this. The people that think that they can talk about shit that a lot of people know a lot about and not expect to get their shit called out on. And to think that their opinion is valid because they know one small thing about a very diverse character or storyline or movie franchise. It's disturbingly grotesque in the way that the people think, and I'm quite sick of it, in all honesty. So what I'm going to do to hopefully alleviate some of the ignorance out there on certain subjects is I'm going to start playing Injustice Gods Among Us and give you guys some commentary, some backstory on some of these heroes to hopefully educate the people. And maybe I'll do the same thing with Marvel in another game. But I'm going to start off with this for now, so let me know what you guys think. I'm just out here to educate people because I'm a proponent of truth and I hate ignorance, so I'm going to squash it the best way that I know that I can, and that's doing it myself. So hope you guys enjoy. Be sure to leave a comment, and I will see you next time.